Welcome to the MMA show. I'm the Muscle Mole.
Master Wang. And no beef from the CP this week.
It's bad news. Beef for the CP is reneged this week, but not to worry, he'll be back for the next UFC event.
So what have we got? We've got an absolutely fantastic card. We're talking UFC 116.
I think it's the fight that most people have been waiting on quite a long time. The Behemoths clash of the Titans.
True heavyweights.
Oh, beasts. Beasts.
265 pounds and 265 pounds. And possibly people weighing over 280 pounds on the actual fight.
Although, as we were talking about there, the statistics kind of get juggled a wee bit.
Oh, Carwin has, he's went from like 5'10" to like 6'4" in literally one poster.
And they've changed these. It used to be it was like 12 KOs all in the first round. He's finished 12 guys in the first round, not necessarily KO'd them.
But one thing for sure is they've both got huge ham-fisters.
Oh, big belters.
They're big, both of them with knockout power, both pedigree wrestlers, both beasts, and both have belts, which is even better.
Oh, and they're gold ones as well, which will please Tony. But to break the fight down, I personally think that it's going to come down to Brock's going to be looking to take him down. I think he'll be more agile. I think he's going to try and take him down, possibly wear him out, take him into the deeper waters, where he's never been. Shane's never been tested before. He'll be slower. The knockout power will not be there anymore. He'll be more susceptible to ground and pound, or maybe even a submission. Whereas Shane Carwin, he's just going to look to steam in, get the clinch, hit him a couple of times, lights out.
The one thing about Carwin, and not to say that Brock doesn't have a fantastic camp with game planners and all the rest of it, but they have the what's his man, the Desert Boy. He's in Shane Carwin's corner. He's Greg Jackson, who's famous for the game planning, and there's a famous quote from Rashad Evans: "This is no boxing, it's fucking MMA." And you know, they're famous for coming out with a strategy. So they'll have a good strategy.
Plus, you only get better if you're training with guys who are technically better than you. Now, for Shane Carwin, that is definitely going to be the case at Greg Jackson's camp. Whereas, I don't know, it's Death Clutch or whatever he calls his
Death Clutch camp.
I think he's basically the big dude there, and he brings people in who he thinks he'll need to train on that particular fight, which might be a good idea, might not.
To be fair, they're all big dudes in that camp. There's no skinny. There's no any middleweights.
There maybe was. They didn't survive.
Everybody's a monster, and they're all like. And some of them are like ultra heavy. So like they make Brock.
I think there's another guy from his kind of camp fighting on this card. Can't mind his name.
Chris Tucker.
It's a guy. Anyway, it's all about picks in this show. We'd like your picks in.
Yeah.
And the Master Wang's pick is
Brock Lesnar. He's a beast. He's going to smash him. Yes.
I'm going to go Brock Lesnar as well, purely because I think he's going to be more motivated. Spoken about off camera, Shane Carwin's only getting 40 grand for this fight, plus 40 if he wins, whereas Brock will be getting mega bucks plus cut of the pay-per-view. So I think
Big Brock's going to win. Brock. Next up we have a fantastic fight. It was going to be Wanderlei Silva versus Sexy Yama, but unfortunately Wanderlei's out or whatever, and I hope he recovers well.
I hope he's getting more surgery because he's no sexy.
And replacing him is Chris Lieben, who fought
2.5 weeks ago, something like that. Fair play to him. I've not particularly always liked the guy, but for somebody who's going to step up, 2.5 weeks.
He's got the hairdo.
He's still going to need to dye it again this year. It's already dyed, so he's saving cash already.
He's got the nails. He's got the tattoos.
It could go to his benefit because I've said before he comes in a bit kind of tubby and everything. Well, he's just coming straight off a camp. He's probably went straight back into another. It's probably going to be the same kind of camp for him, and he's going to be prepared for somebody who is a better wrestler, who has a much better ground game. So things aren't going to change much for him. Sexy Yama, not necessarily the same because he's not happy. It's not a big name.
Well, as you would be, you know. I suppose at the end of the day, it's about self-promotion, it's about all these sort of things, because the UFC is essentially become like a WWE kind of entertainment, you know. It is about, again, one of the reasons Brock is getting £1 million as opposed to, you know, Shane Carwin. Brock sells, he's got a name, all that. Sexy Yama's obviously on the ball with that, he wants the big names. But Chris Lieben, he's a beast, he always brings it, and I think Sexy
I don't understand how he manages to rope people into just trading blows.
He touches that alpha in every man. It's like, ah.
Something else, you think I can whip him, just get nail polish for turns out you can. So again, we break the fights down. Leaving's going to be what, standing, turn it into a brawl, trade room. Sexy Yama probably wants to get it down.
World class judo, Olympic level judo, and phenomenal on the ground. But he never really goes to the ground. He's got great striking as well. So I'm going to go for Sexy Yama. By the way, he's a sexy guy. He's Japanese. He's got the tan skin, and he's got a fantastic ground game. And I think that's the Achilles heel for Lieben.
I agree with you. I think it will be Sexy Yama. Lieben, I would like to see him win purely because he's manned up. 2.5 weeks to go, but I think even the rigours of fighting and then fighting again is going to be too much.
Well, there we go. Sexy Yama?
Oh, the sexy one, definitely.
Hey, that's 2 for 2. 2 for 2.
That doesn't it? I thought you would have picked Carwin, to be honest.
So, is that? Look at that. That's our sponsors. Hey, this is a Go Fast Sports competition. This is by Master Wang. Go Fast Sports Premium Energy Drink. Don't want to miss a drop. Tastes like strawberry laces. This is a question only open to Scotland. Go Fast Sports, you could win a goodie bag from Go Fast Sports. Question is, what does Go Fast Sports taste like? A, strawberry laces, B, Go Fast Sports, or C, a goddamn fantastic energy beverage? Write it in the comments. Well on to Scotland. Right, welcome back.
Howdy.
So what we've got next, we've got Chris Lytle versus Matt, the Immortal Brown.
This is a rematch. They fought once before. Some organisation, I have no idea what the name it is, but they fought once before and Lytle won via submission. For what I've seen of that fight, Lytle was actually not getting the best of the stand-up, which I was quite shocked. And they kind of stumbled over and went to the ground. They managed to get a kind of submission, so I think it was like a guillotine, but for the top. So I think I'm going to go with Lytle again.
I think that's the classic. Lytle is a banger. Everybody knows that he will go to the centre of the octagon.
Trade blows with him.
They put them up and he'll smash. And Matt the Immortal Brown, he's called the Immortal because he can take punishment.
I mean, Lytle's fought everybody, but he's only been finished like twice in his whole UFC career. One was Thiago Alves with a cut, and I can't remember who the other guy was, but he's only finished. He's a shitload of fit. Apologies about the language there, but he's got 14 fights or something in the UFC, a lot of fights. He's only been finished twice. He's been with probably the best guy in that division, Matt Hughes. He's been with him. Lost a decision, but nonetheless.
Look, he can, as we were discussing earlier on, he's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You never really see that coming out, but obviously, like Immortal Brown going in there will know he's got to come to the centre.
Lytle won his last fight by submission by a leg lock, but I think they're going to trade blows big time. And I feel a wee bit sorry for Brown because he had a tough fight in his last fight with Almeida coming down from middleweight, and his striking looked a lot better. So I like Brown, but I think he's starting to get out his depth a wee bit with the calibre of fighter they're showing him. So I'm going to go lights out Lytle on that one.
I'm going to go lights out Lytle as well, just because I think he's a phenom, and he just every time he turns up to brutalise and be brutalised, and
it's hard to see. Even if he's outclassed in his feet, he still doesn't even consider the ground. He thinks, no, I'll go and see what happens.
He's a brother. He's top, and he's a big fat fighter. So
that's good. Like
that. Okay, next we have the Polish experiment.
Another rematch.
Christian Szczynski versus
Stefan Bonner.
Stefan Bonner, the Psycho.
This gets stopped by a cut. Stefan Bonner got a bad cut and they stopped it, but pretty much straight after the fight, because it was pretty competitive. I thought Bonner was in the fight. They basically promised a rematch, so I'm looking forward to this fight, but I think it's hard to pick who will actually win.
You don't stop Stefan Bonner when he's bleeding. That guy can keep on going when he's bleeding. You know, we've seen that from kind of the big debut with the Forrest Griffin.
Potentially that fight saved him though, because I think if he just lost the fight, they didn't get stopped, I think he would have got cut for the UFC, so if anything else, it's given him another fight. If he wins it convincingly, then possibly he can build on that.
The Polish experiment is ripped. every time we see him fight, his tattoo gets bigger and better. The back piece, you know, with the big gargoyle, it's nearly finished. Hopefully in this fight it will be finished. And he's always ripped. He obviously hits hard, but apart from that, I don't think he's got the...
He's got a Kimura, which he will try and crank on at any opportunity. He hits hard. His striking isn't particularly great. We've seen that against Brand.